I'd like to talk futures here. Let's do some. Let's do a little segment we have called "Lock It Up." And basically, we're locking up our money. We're locking up some futures money. It's going to pay off down the line because we got to lock that money up for several months.
Best believe it.
As we go in here. So we looked at some of these markets over in the NFL, decided what we would go ahead and lock our money up on. Now, you have actually made these bets. I am looking at the three that I have in mind. These are the numbers that are currently available at DraftKings, so you can still go and make these bets if you want to at the prices that we're about to talk about right now. But you and I are kind of simpatico a little bit, just in different ways on two bets. So you have Seahawks NFC West plus 550. I took Pete Carroll Coach of the Year 25-1.
Oh, I love it.
With the same thinking here. And these, again, numbers and bets that you can go make currently, right this second, if you went over to DraftKings Sportsbook. And I think we're along the same lines of thinking here, which is that division seems to be a lot more wide open than the odds dictate.
Yes.
And you're looking at a team that in the 49ers does not know who's going to be playing quarterback. You at least know who's going to be playing quarterback in Seattle. Had a decent season. Now, can he replicate that?
Well, he was.
Don't know.
I thought he was really good, Geno Smith, last year.
Can he replicate that again this year? Don't know, but at least you know who's playing quarterback leading into the season. The 49ers minus 165 in that division currently, plus 330 are the Rams. 550, like you're saying, the Seahawks at 550. Man. We're kind of along the same way because I think if this team ends up winning this division, that Pete Carroll's probably at least going to be in the conversation. If I'm holding a 25-1, then maybe I can put myself, like we're talking about with any of these other long, big futures tickets that we could be holding, in a position to make money no matter what, right?
Because, yes.
And so I kind of like that from a Pete Carroll standpoint. And I like your 550 there on NFC West with the Seahawks because, again, one team doesn't know who's going to be playing quarterback. In theory, we could almost say the Rams don't know who's going to be playing quarterback because, again, Stafford could announce tomorrow he's going to retire.
That's right.
Or this elbow thing that obviously bothered him way, way more than they let on. Maybe he gets out there and he throws for a couple of weeks and says, I don't have it anymore. But, you know,
I think it's the riskier plays here are certainly the Rams as a second betting favorite in that division makes no sense
because they might fire sale that team as well that we just talked about.
Absolutely, and I love your Pete Carroll correlated play, if you will, with the Seahawks at plus 550 and 25-1 to win Coach of the Year. I thought Pete Carroll should have been. He was in the running this year for Coach of the Year. I know Brian Daboll was a flavor, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. But I really think if you look objectively of what we thought of the Seahawks at the beginning of last year after the Russell Wilson trade. Everybody said this could be the worst team in the NFL, and they were leading the Niners in the third quarter on the road in the wild card game. So I love what John Schneider's done. Those extra picks that they get now this year in the first round, they've got capital. So I think they're going to make moves in free agency to fortify this roster. The defense has got to get better.
Yeah.
Defense does need to get better. I love what they're doing offensively. I think they're going to draft a wide receiver possibly in this first round, late in the first round. They got 2 picks in the first round. The world is kind of their oyster right now. I look at the Niners and the Rams. Sorry, Arizona, I'm not equating you in this situation to win the West. And I just think the Seahawks at that price point are in a much better spot than those other two teams.
Yeah, and again, these are bets that are currently available that I actually like. I mean, seriously, like if you're holding a 550 on the Seahawks, where they're at least the most solidified team heading into the season right now. I mean, you know, you can say, dude, look at that roster for the 49ers. And I will listen to you if you want to say, dude, look at that roster for the 49ers. However, we know what the most important position is in all of sports, period. In a story, it's quarterback in the NFL. And with that, if you do not have a good quarterback, I don't care. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And so 2 guys that are going to be coming back off of injury, 1 guy that we haven't hardly even seen play. We have no idea if Trey Lance is any good or not, right?
Zero idea.
And so I'm with you. I like that one a ton. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I do like this one too. You have the Colts as AFC South at plus 450.
And the rationale here is I'm looking at the division. It looks like the Titans are tearing it down a little bit. Derrick Henry is reportedly on the trade block, right? They might go to Malik Willis, which means that's going to be a work in progress. We don't know what the Texans are going to do at 11-1 at quarterback, but I just feel like the roster, no matter who the quarterback is, they might be in play for Jimmy G as well. I just don't think they're ready yet to compete. So to me, it comes down to the Colts and the Jaguars. I am trusting, can't believe I'm going to say this, Shane Steichen. And I saw what he did to Jalen Hurts in that offense. And they were a run-first offense. Obviously, the A.J. Brown acquisition helped that a lot. The Colts roster, the cupboard is not bare there. And certainly Jonathan Taylor, a healthy Jonathan Taylor. If he gets, I don't know what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson. I don't know what the Colts are going to do at quarterback. And to me, I am trusting that the rest of that 52 It's not as good as the Eagles were on paper last year at 52. But at that price point, remember the Eagles were almost 3-1. You were getting to win the East last year before the draft day came and really switch those numbers. I think the Colts could be one of those teams that you're looking at now and go, plus 450, I could have had that back in March. Yeah, you're probably not going to have that price come September.
Say they stand pat at 4 and they end up with Will Levis, and I know people are saying, well, he's the fourth of the 4. Look, he's a prototypical NFL quarterback with a big arm, and once you get in the NFL system, can be coached up. I think there's a pretty decent chance there as well. I have the Lions win the NFC North plus 150.
Oh!
This was, look, they have the best listen, they have the best roster. It really do. They have the best roster. They have a lot of draft capital, a ton. And they're going to be able to add on the defensive side of the ball with those 2 first-round picks that they have now. Mm-hmm. And to kind of go along with what they have on the offensive, they don't really have to add anything on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, like, they are pretty much set on the offensive side. And if they get a defense that can play a little bit, I think they really are the class of that division.
I'm a believer in Dan Campbell. I wish the number was a little bit longer, but you're still getting plus money, so I'm with you there. Like that might be a negative number by the time we kick off week 1 if Aaron Rodgers is gone, right? And again, we don't think the Bears are ready, and the Vikings might be dismantling. You might actually be getting the best of that number right now, America, at plus $1.50.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.